Okay, hello everyone. I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Hi Becky. Hi Nicole. You guys are so sweet to come on. I am so sorry that today I gave you such short notice. I kept thinking I need to go on and say that, and then I just never did it.
How are you?
Hi guys. Hi Laura. Let me see. I'm not even at my stuff set here right. There we go. Let's see. Just a second. I hope you guys are all doing very well. Okay. All right. Okay. Hi. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope, so before I dive into anything, I should probably clear up a little bit of confusion. I don't know why this keeps bouncing back and forth for me here. In Slack, and then also and I will fix this. In the email I sent you a link to a video, and then I changed the privacy settings on it so only you could see it, but it changed it so you actually can't see it, which is really funny. So anyways, so I'm going to be updating. It was to the intro video, which isn't a ton of information, but I will update. I'm writing this down so I don't forget. Intro video link. And I think I updated it in Slack already, but I'll put it in there. So anyway, so that was just a little bit of extra fun to confuse you. Sorry. Okay, so we aren't going to have a super long Tuesday chat, but I just wanted to jump on and kind of, we're having really good discussion. If you've looked over in Slack in the This Month Topic channel, people are having really good discussion about, like, just, you know, as citizens of the world, what we know, have experienced to be true as the differences between men and women. And people are writing about really good things. I love Gracie's the analogy that, and this is so true with little kids, if you spent any time around little kids, like you give a boy 2 trucks and he'll smash them together. You give a girl 2 trucks and they'll talk to each other and be a mom and dad or something. So, you know, we all know that there's sort of these intrinsic differences between men and women. And that's kind of what this week's video, that's kind of the underlying truth to this week's video when we talk about the feminist movement. You know, of course, it started out good to get equality. Of course, women should be able to vote. Of course, women should be able to be part of any profession, you know, as long as it's doing God's will. But, you know, of course, that's all obvious. Women should not be denied education or to own property. Like, that's all obvious. But then when it moves into, like, limiting women's fertility so that they can work like men or not be burdened by family, you know, when it's trying to bury those natural feminine traits so that we can be more like men at work. And I don't know, maybe you haven't had this experience, but I have had the experience where you have like a super, you know, like a woman who's a boss, and she, in some weird way to prove herself, becomes even more tyrannical than men. I don't know. Anyways, so there's that. But next week we're going to be moving on to kind of past this, you know, and we have a lot of quotes from JP2 in this week's video about what we've lost as women. And so we're going to keep that in mind. But next week, we're moving on to the beginnings of what St. Edith Stein taught about what a woman's soul really is, what it means to have a uniquely feminine soul. And I should tell you that some of this material is a little bit over my head. Both JP2 and Edith Stein were into phenomenology, which is still something I barely understand. It's pretty deep stuff. She was definitely a scholar, and I definitely am not a scholar. So anyways, so we're kind of like doing the, aerial overview to give us a general idea so that we can kind of walk into our daily lives with some truth. So but I'm not going to get into next week's video. What I want to kind of lay for you as a foundation is just an interesting way to think about humanity. I was reading again about Edith Stein, and they, and I think this is something we all know, but it's kind of interesting to rethink about. But Edith Stein taught that, when we think about people, we need to think about it in 3 circles. So a big one inside of that, and then a tiny speck inside of the middle one. And so that outside circle is all of humanity. And we can talk about, there's universal truths that all humans share, right? We are all called to love. We are all called to prayer. All of our spirits need prayer to be healthy and alive. We all share the original sins of Adam and Eve. We were all saved by the redemptive sacrifice of Jesus Christ. So there's these things that we all share as human beings. And then that outside circle. And that should make us feel closer to each other, right? We all have these struggles we share. We all have these blessings that we share. But then inside of that, of course, there's a circle, and that circle would be gender. And in there, we have commonalities within our gender. And I thought people were doing a really good job of pointing that out, but then we're also kind of stepping on landmines for things that maybe are due more to personality than to gender. For example, people were talking about, I think this is really interesting. It's interesting to live with someone of the other gender and wonder, like, is this different a personality thing? Or is this a gender thing, right? And so people, I know Grace and, oh goodness, I'm not going to look. Someone else brought it up. But they were talking about tidying up and how their husband has the ability to stay focused and clean one area completely and not get distracted. Like, oh, this goes in that room. Okay, I'll clean a little there. Oh gosh, this goes in that room. Okay, I'll clean a little there. And so, they're kind of wondering, like, is it a gender difference or is it personality? And, Grace was saying, well, I'm like that too. But I mean, I think, honestly, that's kind of more of a personality thing. My husband is much more scattered and kind of easily distracted than I am. And even it gets to be like certain things, I am a much more like, get it done. I don't care about the mess over there. I'm focusing on getting this done. So anyways, so we just kind of these are all things that we're still discovering about ourselves constantly and evaluating. And sometimes it's, more important to know the personality of your husband than to know the nature of men in general. So anyway, so we have the universal things we share as human, our things that we share as women, as female, and then that little speck in the middle, of course, is our individuality, things that are uniquely us. And I just think I really had that like picture in my head as I've been going through this, because I think it's such a beautiful idea, right? That there are things that are universal, that connect me with every person, even in their most remote corner of the earth. We are connected. We have fundamental similarities. And then, you go a little deeper, and there are people that understand me even a little bit better. And that's what I find so beautiful about this group. A lot of times I'll share things and you guys get it. It's just such a beautiful thing to be with people that get it, which is selfishly my favorite thing. So, just to be like, yes, I share these universal things. I share them with my husband, but he just doesn't get it sometimes. So then, there's this beautiful little community of people that have similar traits as you, that get it. But then also, and this is coming from, a middle child in a big family, I really love then also that she acknowledges and, points out the truth through God that we have individual traits that God acknowledges that we should acknowledge, right? These little tiny, that we're part of the big circle, part of the smaller circle with our gender, but then a very recognizable dot of individuality. So hello, hello. So anyway, so I love that. I hope that just kind of puts you in the right mind. That's sort of the truth of, remember Edith Stein wrote these things, and then they were very much taken by JP too, and he used them. He used the idea of the feminine soul, the masculine soul, in all he created, like around theology of the body. So really understanding Edith Stein is a precursor to understanding theology of the body. So I hope that gives you something to think about. I know a lot of you said that you like Edith Stein. You've read about her before. My grandmother is actually an Edith Stein scholar. Not that that means that I am. I am not, but she's written a couple of books on her. If you ever see Nancy Cross in a bibliography of an Edith Stein book, that's my grandma. She's usually cited for articles. Yeah, and I'm named after her. That's why I have an old person name, because named after my grandma. Anyways, so yes, so Edith Stein, we're diving into her next week, but I knew, okay, this is what I was going to say. I'm getting distracted. Honestly, I didn't really discover Edith Stein until, not that long ago. I was married. I sort of knew about her as a nun that was Jewish, had converted and died in a concentration camp. Like I knew the sensational details of her life, but I didn't really know anything about her writings or her works. And I still feel like I'm understanding them because they're pretty deep. But these ideas that I think I always sort of thought that it was all individual, like some women just didn't act like women, or I don't know, just I grew up with a really, with this very sort of modern idea of gender, not extreme modern, not about like gender fluidity and all that garbage, but just that basically the idea that you could be whoever you wanted to be and that gender shouldn't stand in the way of that. And it's this sort of 90s idea, maybe. So a lot of this I find so refreshing from Edith Stein because it's things that we intrinsically know. Like when we get together with a group of women, we know that we have similar, like that it's more comfortable here. We can have, yes, we all have friends that are male. We're all married to men. But there's something about being with women that's different. Not that we can even name what it is. So anyways, so I hope you find that with Edith Stein too, that it's like a reminder of what you feel and know already, and just kind of more clarification on who we are. Okay. All right. So blah, 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 blah. I hope you're doing great. People have been so sweet. I've been a little sick lately. I've been under the weather. As you can see, I look just completely put together today. We are expecting our 5th baby. I haven't really said anything about it because, we've had a lot of losses, but about 10 weeks along and I feel terrible. So that is really good. Every time I feel sick, get sick, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, we're still pregnant. So anyways, yeah, that's continuing along. Thanks. Thank you. I will take any prayers you have. We're about 10 weeks along. So that's like about March 1st. Hopefully, I used to only be nervous until 12 weeks, but now with, losing a baby past that, we will be nervous the whole time. Oh, well, worth it. Totally worth it. So, after you go through big things, losses or challenges, or I know several people in this community go through horrible, scary things with their husband's jobs and stress. Anyways, you just kind of are like one day at a time, whatever happens next, happens next. So that's who we are. And I snuck that announcement in actually unintentionally in a video I released yesterday. I have a new podcast that launched. It's for children. So it's really simple, and it's maybe you've already seen the video, but it's honestly something I created for my own kids because I wasn't sharing. Wasn't doing I wasn't doing instructions in the Catholic faith like I wanted to. And honestly, we listened to this podcast that I really recommend. It's called Chompers. And it's just totally secular, but it's this wonderful thing you turn on and they brush their teeth to it in the morning and the evening. It's really, and it's just sort of like, it reminds them how to brush and when to switch sides. And there's different themes each week. I really encourage you. I mean, it's changed our toothbrushing around here for sure. So we've been listening to Chompers for a few months now. And I kept listening to it and thinking like, it's so great because we're never going to like forget to brush our teeth. Well, okay, we'll never try to forget to brush our teeth. But it's so nice because you just turn on, and they learn about like animals or plants or music or whatever. And it's just nice to turn it on. They love to listen. And then my kids put them in front of a television, they're like zone, like they won't get up, so we try not to turn the TV on very much around here. But it's like they listen to something and they become alive. Like they want to talk about it. They're thinking about it. They remember it. So I thought like I would love something that was 5 minutes of Catholic instruction to turn on every day. So that's why I made it. And it's honestly, it's been a super easy thing to make. I actually recorded a ton of episodes before I started feeling sick with this pregnancy, and they're just going to roll out and I won't have to worry about it for a while. So anyways, it's been fun. My kids are really excited because their little voices are in the intro. So they always want to, can we listen to our voices? So they're really excited. Okay. Anyways, it's and some people have been wondering like if it's a subscription or anything. It's totally free. It's just really something that I wanted to put on Apple Podcasts. So it was on my phone so I could listen to it with my kids. So if you want to listen to it, that's perfect. Okay. I am going to go take a nap because it's pretty quiet around here. I hope you guys are wonderful. We leave for Pittsburgh on Thursday. We're driving to Pittsburgh from Kansas City. So that's a lot of time on I-70. We're driving to Pittsburgh on Thursday night and going to get there Friday night. And then we're flying out of Pittsburgh on Monday for France. So wish us luck. All right, ladies. So great to see you. I will see you over in Slack. If you have any questions, and I'll make sure to update that video link over there. If you have any questions, direct message me. The house we're staying at in France will have Wi-Fi, so I will be on from time to time. Where my sister's taking her habit is like literally in the middle of the country. They have a cathedral. Their big church area they call the Green Cathedral, which is essentially just a whole bunch of benches with trees overhanging them. That's their Green Cathedral where they will be making their vows. So it's very poor, very down to earth. So there won't be Wi-Fi out there, but my mother is the type of person that can't survive without Wi-Fi. So I will be able to pop in while I'm over there. I won't be in too much, but I'll make sure to pop in because I'll miss you guys too much. All right, ladies, take care. I will see you around. I'll be over in Slack, and take care. Bye-bye.